There's a bacteria called Pseudomonas syringae. I was unaware of this specific component, but now this makes a lot more sense. I saw this on a video that Carol from the Never Lose Truth channel did a couple days ago, I think it was, about this bacteria, Pseudomonas syringae. It's part of the gamma something class of bacteria. I can't remember. Anyway, this makes a lot more sense to me now. I did a video a little while back in the fall titled something like The Engineered Fall of Our Species. It was because I noticed these changes in the seasons, in the plants, in the fruits on the apple trees here. The first season here of apples, we had natural looking healthy apples on the 2 apple trees. They were delicious. The next 2 seasons, this being the second, drastic change in the apples as well as the other plants, the leaves on the trees, a lot of defoliation, a lot of damaged leaves, the fruits themselves, the apples, a lot of them mutated, misshapen, and had these same black dots that I would see in the leaves. Now I know that it was the bacteria that was eating through the leaves, and I know why now that the black dots penetrated deep into the apple, through the skin, into the flesh of the apple. It's because it was a bacteria eating into the apple and growing. Now that makes much more sense now that I saw that. So now I realize that's exactly, of course, what's going on. It's a defoliant. It's a bacteria defoliant that's killing the vegetation. It's making life sick, and it also has the endothermic reaction necessary to create this fake, what they call snow, and these fake winter storms.
There just happens to be a commercial weather modification company called Ice Crystal Engineering. This video, another example of ice nucleation by bacteria. By bacteria.
Really? That's so disappointing.
So that woman with the syringe, in this water, she dropped a couple of drops of whatever. I didn't even know what it was, but it's bacteria. And it's so disappointing. So she drops another drop.
Oh my gosh.
One more. Oh, there goes. There goes.
There it goes.
Is that not awesome?
Bacteria.
I'm going to back off. I want you to turn it upside down. The top's on it, right? Go.
Ice.
That one's a good one.
So in the other video, when I was referring to it as the chemical ice nucleation and those processes that you find patents on and this and that they're spraying above daily, constantly, more and more, especially this year. And right now, as I speak, sitting out here, they keep going over and over. I know that's what it is. That is a component, one component. But knowing that that's what it is by seeing its effects. Of course, I'm no scientist. I haven't checked this. I can't verify that information for myself, but I do know that if these snows and these rains were tested for that, it would show up. In that way, it can't be tested in one of those mass spectrometers or whatever the machines are that incinerate the material and then give a readout of the elemental composition of the material, because that would burn off the life of the biological material that is that bacteria. So it would have to be checked. Not in that way with fire, but looked at. Bet you find the bacteria. And that's been used at, like was presented at ski resorts, this and that, different places to make the fake snow. Now they're just doing it all over the place. Why? To cause this fake cooling, to hide other things. And at the same time, defoliate and depopulate all at once. It's by adding tons of this bacteria to the air that sucks the heat out of the surroundings. So there you go. When you look out at this so-called winter wonderland and things, and like the snow in Hawaii, you think that's snow? Or California? You're looking at white fields of bacteria that cause that ice nucleation, a biological agent that caused that ice nucleation. So considering that fact, consider now with that, just that one point, we are under, as a group, as a population, a constant biological attack being delivered in an aerosol form by air. Yet the military that I grew up thinking was for defense, that I even joined, those AAA, those anti-aircraft artillery guns are not going off at the aircraft in our airspace that are poisoning us all. And that's only one component that barely scratches the surface. Consider it, please, and quickly. And those that are doing it, please consider what you're doing and quickly, and realize that none of these immoral things would happen if it wasn't for the belief system of money. You couldn't get folk to do all this immoral things if you couldn't hand them a paycheck. If money wasn't a real thing, if that belief was broken inside folk because they knew that it was the scam it was, couldn't get folk to do all this immoral stuff because we would be using our energy voluntarily to live together in harmony with nature and each other and with life. It's that simple to me. Though we were taught to not to ever think it's just that simple. Morality is just that simple. All right, thanks. Feel free to share.